Yo, what up? Mike Powell, Doc Talk, part 2 about boats. So I told you I got my boat. Thank God my boat's paid off. I really like my boat because I can run a full day on a full tank of gas. By then, everybody is already gassed out on the boat. Everybody had a great time. We probably had a Big Mac and wake, and you know, the boats back then had like room for like 3 to 6 people, and that's about all you needed for a full day's worth of fun. But in like 03, 04, Mastercraft came out with the first like pickle fork wake boat, and right there, that thing was huge, humongous, man. You could fit like 15 people in that thing, and then you could ride and all this stuff. But the fuel consumption was insane, so you could only go like over half day, and then you'd have to refill or do whatever you want, unless you ran it like really light. But as far as I know, it's still like you wouldn't even get that far. So boats went from being like my boat, like the ski boats and stuff, they were built to last, built to last a long time, and they still run. You can still find them online for, decent prices, and these boats are well-built boats, and they're gonna last. But as I was getting ready to purchase my ski boat, and when I was living at that house with that dude, this is right as like Axis Wake Research came out with a couple of like base model plug and play wake boats, which their starting prices were like 70,000. If you had 70 racks, cool, you had it all paid off. The average person don't, especially as you had the bells and whistles, you want tower speakers and all this weird stuff. Like you don't even wakeboard if you're trying to buy all that stuff, you don't really care. But people would do that, and then you're making payments for, I don't know, however long you want to pay for this boat. Not in my interest anytime soon anyway. I was just always told, if you ain't got the money, don't pay for it. But, we're in the world of credit now. We're in the world of credit. I still play in the game of cash, so never had a credit card in my life. But I got people who got credit, you know what I mean? And I got credit with people who got credit. So, yeah, they went from boats being like, like 5-6 people max to, the minimum boat was holding, or the smallest boat was like, you can max it out with like tons of weight and tons of people and still be going. The fuel was just insane though. So, we're thinking like, like it's a turn for the worse in the boating industry. Well, or the best, I don't know, whichever side of the spectrum you're on, but as a rider, all you care about is riding all the time. And if you don't have the biggest, baddest boat or the biggest, baddest wake, then right now you're nobody. So it's like I think that's the worst, because there's so many talented guys like Sean O'Brien, who could go out and just kill it behind, a ski boat, and he could do 9s off the dubs and stuff like that. Like, that's what you look for. That's really like, that's the truth, Scott Byerly and those guys, they used to do mobs and stuff behind ski boats back in the day. I'm all for having the biggest, baddest wake, but dude, be economical. Like, I'm down to ride behind it a few times every now and then, but dude, when I have to show up with 2 5-gallon gas cans to take one 25 to 35 minute set, like, that doesn't add up, bro. As you start to go on riding like 4 or 5 times a week, where are you getting your money, bro? And who's paying for your boat? Who's paying the note on that? Are you paying the note and paying for fuel? Now, I get it if you and your buddies going on it, but that ain't gonna last, bro. So I don't know. That was just my thought on it. And so I just thought, hey man, if I get a ski boat with a tower, I could wakeboard, and then I could wake skate, and it'll just keep my skills sharp, And this time cable parks started to pop up, and riding becomes more accessible. So, there's that side of the industry too, where you're like, well, you could still ride for pennies on the dollar, but cable's really easy, and you can, to an extent, it's really easy, and you could just take laps and laps and get good really fast, and you're just hitting rails and doing like weird stuff, but and the rope's way up here rather than where it needs to be. I'm not mad at it. I can still ride cable, and we'll do a cable video later on, but yeah, ski boats, as they started to get more expensive, man, it just like it started to weed out like the good riders to the decent riders being able to ride all the time, because somebody could pay for all their stuff. And I know, like, you can have sponsors help you pay for fuel and all that stuff, but if they're paying for that, where are you getting your money for rent? And where are you getting your money to drive to the lake? Do you have a car? You're riding with your buddy who has the boat? That's great, but you still got to pitch in on gas, and then because it's a new boat, you got to keep it more clean and keep up with the maintenance and things like this, because you don't want your $80,000 investment going down the drain because you didn't change your oil, and things like that. So as the boats started to peak around 100 grand, and right now they're at like 150, 200 as a base boat, like for being the premier wakeboard boat. You know, there's only so many guys who can afford that kind of stuff, and honestly, bro, like if you ain't selling them, like then why is that company helping you out? Now you would say, well, Mike, why don't you sell boats? Well, I've done a couple. I worked at a shop a few years back, in the pro shop, and just doing pro shop stuff. Like customers would come in and ask me questions about boats, and I'd talk to them, and I'd get all fired up. My boss would be like, yo, bro, you can't be telling them that kind of stuff, and like, I'd appreciate it if you didn't try to sell boats, Mike. That's not your position. And then these guys would come back with money for the down payment and start making, you know. So then I'm like, hey, bro, like, what's up? Let me sell some boats, you know. But the boating industry's small. We only sell so many boats a year. Each retailer only sells so many, so it's got to be economical for the guys who have already been there for so long and put in the time and the energy and yada yada. So I get it, you know, I get it. But you know, when you got that hunger, bro, like somebody got to get fed. Somebody got to get fed, and I'm over here on EBT. So I got a couple boats sold there, some used boats, but sold them. Then it was really cool, like working with some of the best guys in the industry. I had the Nautique sales rep think of me. He was like, dude, I got this kid, he's got high energy. The shop's looking for some energy and some young blood. Like, I'm gonna offer him this position. So I got a job offering to sell Nautique boats and at one of their retailers, and I went down there, chopped it up, had a meeting, all that stuff, but it just wasn't for me and what they wanted me to do and what I wanted to do. We just kind of didn't see eye to eye. Like I said, I still want to ride and I still want to do other things. So you know, and they wanted me to hang out in the shop and just, you know, be boring, and that's not me. So thanks, Greg. I appreciate the love, man. I'm sorry it didn't work out. Hopefully, you know, you're not upset with me. Hey, it was just your birthday the other day. Happy belated, man. That's what's up. Love that guy. He's super sick. I just put an AC/DC video, or a wakeboard video with the AC/DC song on there. He's really cool. He took me to an AC/DC concert a couple years back. Dude's badass dude, bro. Thanks so much for the love, man. And so yeah, now as the boats get bigger and badder, like, dude, it's for me, it's still all about riding. If you got the big bad boat, man, and you got all the stuff going, and like you dialed it in, more power to you, bro. Like, that's super sick. And like, I hope you like kill it and somehow be the best and the best. Be the best of the best. I'm over here just trying to have a blast, have a ball, and do it all while I'm living and breathing, you know. Ski boats, jet skis, like, dude, I've wake surfed behind a ship. Like, it doesn't matter what it is for me. I just want to ride, and to me, that's most important. So if you ain't having fun doing it and you're beat up for working, and or you're upset that you can't have fun behind the boat because you've got this big ass badass boat and you always got to ride with a super big wake, and you know, you don't want to. If you got a big wake, you got to use it. But I was always told you got to hit double ups and things like that. And now the wakes are so big that some dudes are like scared to hit the double ups. And I get it, bro. It'll clap you out. But just keep it real. Whatever it is, man, just keep it real. Mike Powell, another episode of Doc Talk.